Once more, let me welcome each and every one of us to the SADU Secretariat and to the city of Abuja for the 20th annual retreat and the 78th business meeting. Before we go further, when you come into a house and you are not welcomed, the next thing is to pack your things and leave. And that will not be the case with us, because in the next 1 minute, we will have the chief host come over to welcome us and tell us how safe and comfortable we should feel in this environment. The president of SANU, I don't like when they say national president. We have only one president. When you say national president, it means you have state president, state chairman. But at the state level, they are chairman. So I prefer to just say president, because there's only one president of SANU. President, sir, may you come and address this gathering of registrars of Nigerian universities. You're welcome, sir.
The special guest of honor, our invited guests, let me, for a special mention, welcome our most distinguished Vice Chancellor, Nasarawa State University, Professor Saadatul Iman, the chairman, I don't want to say national chairman, because there are no other state chairman of ANU, so the chairman of ANU, my brother, Dr. Bala Ahmad II, the representative of the Vice Chancellor of Nigerian University, representative of JAM, the national officers of ANU, my distinguished bosses, registrars of our special universities, invited guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, very good morning to you all. I never knew I had to do this. What I've been given was to speak tomorrow, present a paper, which I'm ready to do. But since I've been told and I've been directed by my bosses to do this, I will find every pleasure to do it. This is your facility, it's not mine, because our registrars are the highest dues paying members of SANU. And whatever we have here is courtesy of your goodwill, because you have decided to part with the very limited resources that is available among our public servants. I have this singular honor and privilege this morning to welcome you to your home. This is SANU National Secretariat. We've been here in the last 4 years, and we are gradually becoming landlords, seated conveniently next to you on your, depending on where you're sitting, but the next building after this is also another piece of land and property that is owned by you. We have just completed, furnished, and leased out a multi-million naira lodge. So we are one of the most important landlords around this community. The Association of Registrars of Nigerian Universities will forever remain one of the very, very most important and distinguished body of professionals. Registrars, I need not to tell you, are the custodians of our laws, our records, and everything that is within our citadels of learning. And therefore, I need not overemphasize the importance of what you do in our universities. It is truly a humbling experience hosting you for the second time in this facility. This is what we will have to do in our little way to contribute or give back to the support you've been giving us as a union. SANU is a melting pot of all professionals within our citadels of learning. I always take pride to say this: it is only in SANU that you find everything that you need to run a university system. Yes, we have lawyers, engineers, nurses, doctors, planners, architects, including security men. So be rest assured your security is also guaranteed. In some universities, we even have vice chancellors as associate members because they are in love with what we do as a union. So your vice chancellor here, the Nasarawa State University, was some few months back admitted as an associate member because we've received positive reports about what she does in her own university. I'm surprised she didn't come with her lapel, but because we have decorated her. And vice chancellors are appointed not to teach, but to administer universities. So if she is an administrator, she is our member. So, Madam Vice Chancellor, feel at home, you are one of us, and we will make sure that we make your stay here memorable and convenient. To ANU, I charge you to continue to take that rightful place, the pride of place of running our universities, of ensuring that the laws are enforced, of ensuring that the right things are done, of ensuring that our degrees remain relevant in our system. For us in SANU, we will continue to support you while we will continue to advocate that you remain focused, you remain undoubted, you remain very, very relevant in what we do as a job. While I wish you the very best as you gather here to discuss what you know how to do best, I want to thank you for agreeing to come here and do your meetings, and reiterate that at beg and call, this place is yours. You can have your meetings if you like monthly, if you like daily, or any day. And whatever we can do to make your stay here enjoyable, memorable, and purposeful, we shall do that. So on behalf of the entire membership and the leadership of our great union, SANU, I welcome you most profusely and very respectfully, and I thank you, and I wish you a very enjoyable stay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, President. Thank you for the assurance given for our comfort in this environment. The SANU Secretariat is not only hosting officials of SANU. The President and his ESCO have agreed to give a portion of this facility as operational base and secretariat for ARMU. We remain grateful to you and we say thank you for that.
And even the buses.
Oh, the buses also operate from here. So thank you very much for making this facility always available. While he was delivering his goodwill message, we had the representative of the Executive Secretary of TED Fund come in, and he is Engineer Joseph Odo. He is the Director of ICT of TED Fund, and he's representing the Executive Secretary. Engineer Odo, you're welcome. So we will take the opening remark by the Chairman of ARMU, Dr. Bala Ahmed II. Please come to the podium and deliver your address. Let's welcome our chairman with a round of applause.
Let me start by announcing an instruction just given to me by a very powerful treasurer that since the entire Nasarawa State University is here, SANU Secretariat should be converted as an arm of Nasarawa State University. The representative of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, our very engineer Joseph Ojo, our dear Professor Adeto Hassan Liman, my Vice Chancellor, the Vice Chancellor of Nasarawa State University, Kafi, the representative of the Nile University, the representative of Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, Registrar, my dear brother and comrade in struggle, the president of SANU. I want to join forces to not to allow me to say the national president. My dear ESCO members, our very distinguished registrars from various Nigerian universities cutting across the north and the south, distinguished invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me not forget to recognize the local organizing committee, which has done everything possible to package this meeting. It is with immense gratitude to the Almighty God that I stand before our esteemed guests and registrars at the 20th retreat and 78th business meeting of our great association, ARU. I give all glory, honor, and adoration to God for granting us the grace to attend this all-important retreat holding at the National Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU Secretariat here in Abuja. It is indeed a great and exceptional honor to welcome you to the ARU's 20th retreat and especially commend our special guests, resource persons, and esteemed members who have to travel from different parts of Nigeria to Abuja in order to participate in the 2025 annual retreat. On behalf of the Executive Committee of ARU and all registrars of Nigerian universities, I say a big thank you to all of you. ARU will always remember this honor done to us and contributions you make that will further strengthen our drive, passion, and capacity to deliver on our mandate. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, allow me to most especially express our warm appreciation to the Executive Secretaries of the National Universities Commission, Professor Abdullahi Yusuf Ribadu, Tertiary Education Trust Fund, Architect Sonny S.T. Ochono, and all Vice Chancellors who are in attendance or who have indicated intention to attend this retreat. I wish to express our gratitude to the President of SANU, Comrade Muhammad Harun Ibrahim, and his executive members for allowing us to use this secretariat for this event free of charge. Can we please appreciate it? This has portrayed the cordiality between ANU and SANU. Our profound commendation goes to the Registrar of National Open Universities, Mr. Oladipo Ajayi, for constituting the local organizing committee to superintend over the arrangement for this retreat. The LOC have done its utmost best to make this outing most distinguishing and hitch-free. We acknowledge your sacrifices and remain indebted to you for your service to ANU. Can we please give a round of applause to the LOC? Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is worth stating that ANU, as the torchlight of registrars and the center of gravity of administration in Nigerian universities, is always determined to develop capacity of registrars and contribute meaningfully to the overall development of our universities to make them more focused and globally competitive. It is in the light of this cardinal objective that ANU over the years has institutionalized annual retreats and workshops, thus setting the agenda for knowledge creation and cross-fertilization of ideas. Accordingly, this year's retreat with the theme, Terras as Innovative Pathway for Teaching, Research and Documentation in Nigeria's Tertiary Education, is both timely, apt, and strategic. In today's technology-driven global economy, universities are no longer seen merely as centers for teaching or learning, but as hubs for impactful research, innovation, and as catalysts for national development. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria's footprint in research and innovation being led and propelled by university is still at a minimal level. It is for this reason that ANU, as a key player in the Nigerian education project or university project, feels very strongly that if Nigerian universities must remain relevant, be globally competitive, and catch up with advanced countries of the world, research fueled by technology and innovation must take the center stage. Our 2020 retreat, therefore, is tailored towards raising such awareness. Topics such as Terras as innovative pathway for teaching, research, and documentation in Nigeria's tertiary education and administering Nigerian universities of the future, the role of artificial intelligence were carefully selected and intended to bring experts and professionals to stimulate a national discourse on the application of technological tools as imperatives for research and innovation in Nigerian universities. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, since our election in December 2024, the current executive committee is working towards consolidating on the gains of our predecessors. As you are aware, ANU do embark on foreign education tours annually with the aim of exposing registrars to best university administrative practices in other climes. This year, registrars traveled to Canada in September and Kenya in November. The tours created windows of opportunity to understudy the universities visited in these areas. One, the governance structure of those universities, the funding portfolio, technology application in teaching, research, and innovation, alumni engagement, data management and protection, linkages, collaboration, and partnerships. Participants have gained tremendous knowledge and exposure with regards to university governance generally. I wish, on behalf of ANU, to commend our dear Vice Chancellor for supporting their registrars to attend the foreign education tours, while calling for more understanding to make the tour sustainable and more beneficial. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished, let me say with delight that during our foreign education tour to Kenya, registrars from Nigeria and Kenya have agreed to establish a continental umbrella body for African University registrars. Consequently, a body named African Universities Registrar Association, AURA, was formed at the KCA University in Nairobi. It is most gratifying to report that Nigeria and ANU were honored with the leadership of the continental body, where the current chairman of ANU, Dr. Bala Ahmed II, was unanimously elected as the pioneer chairman of AURA, with 2 members from Nigeria and 3 from Kenya to serve as the steering committee. I think we need a very loud ovation. Let me use this medium to proudly congratulate Nigeria and ANU for this wonderful recognition. It shows clearly that ANU has come a long way. Ladies and gentlemen, you will recall that during our 77th business meeting and third workshop at Kaduna State University in May 2025, we have informed members of the desire of ANU to introduce a flagship awards and honors in form of Register Emeritus and Honorary Administrative titles. We assure you that come May 2026, at our 4th annual workshop, the first set of conferees will be unveiled. A committee is working on the selection guidelines where identified and most qualified former or retired registrars, and a renowned public servants, and professionals will be conferred with appropriate titles in recognition of their contributions to university administration and the Nigerian nation. Let me also inform our distinguished guests that ANU has commenced the process of building the secretariat in competition with our junior brother, the SALU. Since its establishment over 3 decades ago, ANU has been operating without a secretariat. All efforts to secure a land in Abuja has failed. However, I am happy to once again report that the management of National State University, KAFI, through the Governing Council, has allocated a piece of land to ANU to build its secretariat in KAFI. The current executive is poised to ensure the takeoff of the project as approved by the Congress during the 79th business meeting at the National Open University of Nigeria in 2024. I once again, very specially, express ANU's profound gratitude to the management of Nassau State University, KAFI, for its magnanimity. Here, my Vice Chancellor is here. We want, on behalf of ANU, thank you very gladly for the approval granted to us by the Council for the allocation of land for our National Secretariat. Thank you, and may God continue to bless Nassau State Management and the Council. Thank you. Similarly, we have agreed to float ANU Journal of Administration, where topical issues bordering on university administration will be featured. Again, the first edition of the journal will be presented to the public in May 2026, God's willing. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude my address, permit me to welcome and recognize Mr. Olarinde, one of the resource persons who came all the way from the United States of America to participate in our retreat. On behalf of ANU, I welcome you and thank you for your participation. I also want to use this medium to invite Professor Suleiman Arwa, a professor of accounting and one of our resource persons to the high table. And on behalf of ANU, to thank you for accepting to serve as a resource person. Please come over to the high table. To all of us, I wish once again to welcome you to the 20th annual retreat and 78th business meeting of ANU. Thank you, and may God continue to bless ANU, may God continue to bless Nigeria, and may God continue to bless all of us. Thank you, and thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Our Chairman has gone continental. Next is to go intercontinental. By the time we have Association of Registrars of World Universities, we hope you will be there also to participate on the international stage. Thank you for your remarks and welcome speech. We will make progress. It's now time to take goodwill messages. And I have been given an order of how to go about it. We will take from 3 dignitaries that are here with us, beginning with the Vice Chancellor of Nile University in Abuja, Professor Dili Dogo, who is ably represented by his DVC Central Administration, Professor A. Prema Kiribukara. I hope I got it by this time. So, you're welcome, Prof.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Professor Prema Kribagaran, ably representing our beloved Vice Chancellor, Professor Dili Dogo. To admit, I'm also Professor of Artificial Intelligence and Quantum Computing. Our beloved Vice Chancellor, Professor Dili Dogo, congratulated ANU on this successful meet and also has extended his warmest regards to one and all of you. And here it goes on. I extend my warmest goodwill and sincere commendation to the Association of Registrars of Nigerian Universities on the 20th annual retreat and 78th business meeting of the association. ARNU continues to play a pivotal role in strengthening university administration across Nigeria, fostering excellence, professionalism, and ethical leadership in our institutions. Your unwavering commitment to efficient governance, policy implementation, and institutional integrity has significantly contributed to the stability and growth of the Nigerian university system. As the custodians of due process and guardians of institutional memory, registrars remain central to the advancement of quality education and sustainable development. I encourage the association to continue championing innovation in university administration, supporting capacity building initiatives, and promoting a culture of transparency and accountability. These efforts are essential in aligning our universities with global best practices. May this meeting deepen collaboration, inspire fresh ideas, and reinforce your shared mission of elevating higher education in Nigeria. I wish ARNU continuous progress, fruitful deliberations, and greater accomplishments in the years ahead. Congratulations, and may your efforts continue to shape a stronger and more vibrant Nigerian university system. Thank you all.
Another round of applause for Professor A. Premier Kirimburukan, representing the Vice Chancellor of Nile University, Professor Dilito Go. Thank you for your goodwill message. Next is the Vice Chancellor, Nasarawa State University, KEFI, Professor Saadatul Liman. Professor.
I wonder why people always forget that Hassan Liman. I used to tell the men that if Hassan will be angry, I will not be here. My name is Professor Saadatul Hassan Liman. The representative TEDFON, representative of the ES, the representative of the JAM Registrar, the representative of the Vice Chancellor Nile University, our amiable professor, Professor Arua, the president of SANU, our super registrar, the president of ARNU, various registrars present here, and other dignitaries. Good morning all. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Distinguished guests, esteemed members of Association of Registrars of Nigerian Universities, it is my pleasure to be part of the 20th annual retreat of the Association of Registrars of Nigerian Universities, taking place at the SANU Secretariat here in Abuja. Before I continue, I think various ASU chairmen would also come and look for a space here. Because our ASU Secretariat, though is very big, but we are very many. So therefore, we'll also come and start looking for more space from SANU. They were always in collusion. I bring warm felicitations to the Association of Registrars of Nigerian Universities from the Nasarawa State University, KEFI, the most cosmopolitan state university in Nigeria. Thank you. In the Nigerian university system, registrars play statutory crucial roles in the conception, establishment, nurturing, development, and growth of their institutions to maturity and even beyond. These functions highlight the registrar's pivotal role in maintaining the academic and administrative integrity of Nigerian universities and inter-university centers. Indeed, registrars are the pillars and backbone of university administration, who are expected to always provide the administrative pathways for the smooth operations of the university. I, for one, have tremendously benefited from the worthy engagement with our registrar. I will use this unique privilege to commend ARNU for its foresight in institutionalizing annual retreats and workshops with the sole aim of empowering registrars with new knowledge, ideas, and emerging trends in university administration. We at UNSUG, that's Nasarawa State University, KEFI, are grateful to the ARNU for realizing and appreciating the leadership qualities of our indefatigable registrar, Dr. Bala I. Ahmed II, who started as a member of the association in 2017, rose to become its Secretary General in December 2022, promoted to be its national chairman in 2024, and the only chairman indeed, and now is the interim chairman of the association in Africa. This is indeed a special recognition for UNSUG, his base. We are by this gesture indeed honored, referred, and ranked the highest in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, today's event that features presentations on education, research, applications and research terrace, and artificial intelligence, AI, is not only apt but timely for any 21st century university to answer its name and attain global relevance in cutting-edge research and innovation. Deployment of technology must take the center stage. I therefore urge you to embrace information and communication technology in your work and empower your staff in the registry to do the same. You should also promote institutional collaboration and linkages, as the world today is a global village. We at UNSUG have seen the power of digitization for its guarantee administrative efficiency, fiscal discipline, quality assurance, easy monitoring and evaluation, security of data, and improved effectiveness in service delivery, all of which are the factors that will make the registrar to achieve the statutory mandate bestowed in the office she or he occupies seamlessly for the achievement of the overall organizational objectives. We have also seen the power of collaboration, partnership, and linkages in UNSUG in knowledge sharing and other benefits, one of which is exemplified in myself and your chairman's becoming an Erasmus Plus mobility scholars in faraway Poland. Finally, let me remind you that for the love and respect we have for ARNU, our university had 2 years ago approved the allocation of land for ARNU Secretariat. The management is proud to host ARNU Secretariat in the university. I therefore encourage you to commence work immediately so that your dream will become a reality. I wish you a fruitful 78th business meeting and 20th annual retreat. May Allah in His infinite mercy bless you all. Thank you for inviting me and also listening to my goodwill message.
Thank you, Prof. Another round of applause for VC, Nasarawa State University, KEFI, Professor Saadatu Hassan Liman. Thank you. I have been asked to appeal to the 2 personalities that gave us goodwill messages, that if it is possible, we may have the documents or the goodwill messages you delivered for documentation. Thank you. The next person to come over for the goodwill message is the representative of Professor Ishaq Oloede, the JAM registrar, and he is ably represented by Gani O. Al-Rahim. Abdurrahim is the Director of Human Resource Management of GEM. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. On behalf of Emeritus Professor Ishaq Oloyede, Registrar of GEM, I greet all and I say good morning, all please. Yesterday, the chairman of ANO led a delegation to our office in Buhari, and that was when the registrar was invited to be here. He went through his program and apologized that he already has something to do today. As I speak, he's in Yola, Adamawa State now, attending to some other equally important function. Otherwise, we would have loved to be here in person, and that he expressed to the chairman and his team. Secondly, he has asked me to apologize to the esteemed members of ANO because your chairman yesterday presented what is not a protest, but a concern that members had passed to him, particularly about what happened at our last policy meeting on aggression, where in the other protocol, members of ANO were not recognized duly. The registrar profusely apologized and asked me to reiterate his apology to you that that was a skip that will not be allowed to happen again. I hope my registrar is forgiving. Thank you so much. For those of you who have a bit of relationship with Professor Oloyede, you know he's a frank individual and he doesn't hold it back when there's a need for him to say it. He has asked me to encourage you to uphold the responsibility of your offices and that you should continue to be proud. You will recall that he's one of the few vice chancellors of Nigerian universities today that have now become a registrar. So when you begin to list out registrars today, as your accounting registrar, Federal University of Lokoja, the accounting National University registrar, don't forget to call Registrar University of Jam too. He felt that if he had the opportunity to be with you, there would be an opportunity for him to be able to tell you some of the things that he will have acknowledged you on and those areas where you feel you should do better. Mr. Chairman, please permit me to let the cat out of the bag by just mentioning one of the issues he raised with you yesterday. Among several issues he raised with the team that came to our facility yesterday, he was of the opinion that as registrar, when you write and you say registrar and secretary to the council, you may inadvertently be diminishing your role. Because if you emphasize that you are secretary of council, what happened to your role in the Senate? What happened to your role in convocation? What happened to your role in other procedures of the universities? So when you mention one, what about the other role that you are handling? That please continue to be proud as a registrar of your respective universities with all the roles and the duties and the functionalities that we have assigned to your respective offices. There are many more, and that was why he had told the chairman and his team yesterday that whenever you invite him again and he had the advanced information of your program, he will be able to schedule so that I will be here and come and speak directly to you and then you can understand. He has asked me to tell you that across university systems, both within and outside of the shore of Nigeria, the function that you oversee, including managing student records, guiding course registration, enforcing academic policies, and coordinating graduation processes, form the backbone of every institution's credibility. According to Professor Oloyede, the work is not merely administrative, it is the lifeline that ensures order, integrity, and excellence throughout the value chain of the administrative system in the universities. esteemed registrars, he has asked me to tell you and re-emphasize to you, as you know, that your role as the central hub of academic administration ensure that data is accurate, policies within the university are upheld, and operations flow seamlessly. It is because of this role that you have been playing very well that will make students succeed, because of the structure that you maintain. The faculty in the university rely on the accuracy that you guarantee. The administrator and management of the university system depend on the stability that you provide. Here, he was talking about your role being the one that we regard as the institutional memory of the university system, and that you continue to develop the scheme of registrars so that you can always be there as a repository of information and data of your respective universities. He said the strength of our university is reflected in the strength of your work. He therefore asked me to encourage you to remain steadfast, continue to be committed, and be proud of your calling as a registrar. Enforcement of standard is not always easy because we are the one enforcing it. You have challenges, but continue to enforce standard, and it is what preserves the dignity of our institution and the value of the degree that all our universities are awarding. Nigerian universities need your discipline, your dedication, and your unfailing commitment now more than ever before. It therefore asks that you please carry this responsibility with pride, knowing that your work shape the future of education in Nigeria. On this note, he has asked me to congratulate you on this occasion and wish you all the best that today deserves. Thank you so much.
Thank you, the Registrar of JAM University, heavily represented by Gani O. Ad-Rahim. Like I said, Gani O. Ad-Rahim is the Director of Resource Management of JAM. Yes, I think you will take our message to the registrar that JAM University is owing for 10 years dues. So, thank you. We have come to the point where this 20th annual retreat will be declared open officially. And I have been asked to invite the Vice Chancellor of Nile University, represented by Professor A. Prema Kiribuka, to declare the annual retreat open.
Good morning once again. Dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, thank you all for having us here. And in order not to waste some more time and standing on the protocol, I hereby declare the annual retreat open. Have a lovely day.
We will now take the keynote address or keynote presentation by the keynote address by Architect Soni S.T. Echomo, and the presentation will be on TERAS as innovative pathway for teaching, research, and documentation in Nigeria's tertiary education. And for those of us that have attended training at TEDFund, you will know that this project is so dear to the ES of TEDFund, and it is being driven by the Directorate of ICT of TEDFund. And we have no other person to make this presentation than the Director of ICT himself. That is the driver of the project, TERAS. On this note, may I invite Engineer Joseph Odo, the Director of ICT of TED Fund, to make the presentation on behalf of the ES architect of Chono.
My VCs, our registrars, all invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Engineer Joseph Odo, the Director of ICT Tertiary Education Trust Fund. And I'm here to represent the Executive Secretary, Architect Sonny S.T. Echeno, who is unavoidably absent because he's engaged in another program that started as early as 8 a.m. this morning. Your leadership met with him yesterday and he promised to be here. I came to check out the place, and on getting back, it was difficult for him to leave, and he asked me to come in so that he doesn't delay the program. So his speech, or his paper, which is on Terrace, an innovative pathway for teaching, research, and documentation in Nigerian tertiary education system. The background: Nigeria's tertiary education system is at a defining moment. For decades, universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education have struggled with underfunding, low research output, inadequate infrastructure, and a persistent gap between what is taught in the classroom to global real-world applications and the needs of national development. To address these challenges, the Tertiary Education Trust Fund has begun shifting from its earlier infrastructure-focused approach to a broader technology-enabled model of intervention. Central to this new direction is the Tertiary Education Research Applications and Services Platform, named Terrace, an integrated digital ecosystem designed for all public tertiary institutions in Nigeria. Terrace is a transformative avenue for improving teaching, research, and institutional documentation across the nation's tertiary education sector. The tertiary education is widely recognized as the engine room of national development, producing human capital, research outputs, and innovations that power modern economies in Nigeria. However, public tertiary education institutions have been undermined by decades of underinvestment, inadequate infrastructure, epileptic technology evolution, unstable academic calendars, and limited research impact. TED Fund, which was established in 2011 to manage and disburse education tax to public tertiary institutions, has become the primary instrument for addressing these gaps, with earlier interventions concentrating largely on building, construction of lecture theaters, laboratories, libraries, and sponsoring of institutional staff for capacity and professional development. While these investments have been vital, they no longer suffice on their own to guarantee relevance in a world now driven by digital knowledge, data, and networks. Terrace emerged as a strategic response to this new reality, conceived and implemented by TED Fund as a national digital service platform for tertiary institutions. Terrace seems to add value to the current system beyond purely manual projects, towards a cohesive, always-on, technologically driven digital infrastructure that supports teaching, research, and institutional management at scale. The Federal Ministry of Education has since framed Terrace and its integration with the Nigerian Research and Education Network, that is NGN, as the backbone of digital transformation in tertiary education. In conceptualizing TERAS, we will go through the origins and the objectives. TERAS was formally unveiled by the federal government as a digital service application platform for Nigerian tertiary institutions in October 2023. Its overarching objectives can be summarized as follows. 1. Providing shared digital infrastructure, i.e. computing, storage, and networking resources that individual institutions could not economically build on their own. Federating academic content and services across institutions to improve discoverability, utilization, and impact on Nigerian scholarship. 3. Supporting high-quality teaching and learning through learning platforms, digital resources, and capacity building. 4. Strengthening accountability and documentation of academic, research, and administrative processes in line with national and global standards. In essence, TERAS is not a single application, but a converged ecosystem of services delivered through a common national infrastructure and governance framework. The architecture of TERAS and its core components. We have 3 foundational elements. 1, the digital infrastructure layer. This provides computing, storage, and networking infrastructure with high reliability and availability, tailored for Nigerian public tertiary institutions. This infrastructure underpins hosted platforms, for example, the learning management system, which we were introduced to at the workshop we attended, the Blackboard Learning Management System. Also, institutional repositories and data-intensive applications are equally warehoused on the platform. Federated academic repository. TERAS facilitates the large-scale federation of academic repositories of participating institutions, enabling cumulative improvements in publication and distribution of scholarly works. This creates a national knowledge commons where the thesis, dissertations, journal articles, and conference papers are discoverable across institutional boundaries. A common services layer. A suite of shared applications are exposed to participating institutions. This includes the EgoScan plagiarism checker, an initiative of the Committee of Vice Chancellors. It's a plagiarism detection platform focused on promoting originality in scholarly works. The mobile data provisioning, which enables access to whitelisted sites peculiar to educational resources available on TERAS. Online learning platforms such as the enhanced Blackboard Ultra learning management system, the ICDL deployments, and other e-learning tools targeted initially at over 2 million students and staff of our tertiary institutions. Access to e-journals and databases, for example, the IPSCO-host database, digital literacy programs, and other converged services created by TEDFOR. All 286 public universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education that make up TEDFOR beneficiaries are expected to be onboarded on TERAS where they are not onboarded yet, under the various TEDFOR interventions, ensuring national coverage and economics of scale. Our integration with Nigerian, a recent milestone by the Honorable Minister of Education, is the launch of the Nigerian TERAS Integration Governing Board, in which the Nigerian Research and Educational Network is repositioned not merely as an internet service provider, but as a collaborative backbone interconnecting our universities and research institutions for shared digital services. And through this integration, Terra services will become accessible over a dedicated research and education network, improving bandwidth and reliability. Institutions can access federated repositories, learning platforms, and research tools via a unified gateway. Governance and sustainability frameworks can be jointly managed by the Federal Ministry of Education, TEDFOD, NUC, and other stakeholders. This integration is crucial for positioning Terras as a long-term resilient infrastructure rather than a short-lived project. Terras provides a pathway for teaching and for national enablement. And this is in with TEDFOD's partnership with global edtech providers, notably Blackboard, ICBL, Learn to Earn, which is a project we will enroll next year, and other learning resources aimed to provide access to over 2 million students and staff to online academic resources across our beneficiary institutions. And this will be enabled with the NGREN connectivity that we intend to make available in all our institutions. This will support blended and full online learning, enabling institutions to combine physical lectures with virtual classrooms, discussion forums, quizzes, and assignments. Offer role-based access for instructors, students, administrators, and quality assurance officers, ensuring secure and differentiated use at scale. Provide analytics and reporting for monitoring student engagement, completion rates, and learning outcomes, strengthening evidence-based teaching. For many institutions, this is the first time a robust centrally funded learning management system is available with national level support, training, and sustainability planning. Our content distribution and digital literacy goes beyond the learning management system deployment to bring also to you e-journal and database access supported by TEDFOD, allowing institutions to tap into global research literature, digital literacy and train-the-trainer programs, equipping ICT directors and academic staff with skills to design and deliver online courses, partnerships with edtech providers for interactive teaching tools, AI-supported learning, and classroom engagement platforms. By centralizing procurement and infrastructure, and this is seen by the current collaboration between TEDFOD and DPP, which enables you to digitally process your interventions even with DPP. Terras will allow smaller and resource-constrained institutions to benefit from high-quality digital resources that would otherwise be unaffordable. For pedagogical innovation and inclusion, Terras offers access to flipped classrooms where students engage with lecture content asynchronously on Terras hosted platforms and use in-person time for discussions and problem solving. It offers large-scale open courses within and across institutions where multiple institutions could deliver foundational courses and share teaching resources. It offers support for remote and marginalized learners, including lecturers, which are or who are in conflict-affected areas or underserved regions, who will now be able to access courses and access learning platforms via connected centers on campus. In the medium term, data from Terras hosted platforms can inform national curriculum review, instructional design improvements, and targeted interventions for at-risk students. Terras as a pathway for research we see to federated repositories and knowledge visibility. A long-standing weakness of Nigerian research is limited visibility and fragmentation of outputs. Individual universities host under-resourced repositories, theses and dissertations remain in physical form. TERAS will directly address this by federating electronic academic repositories across participating institutions. Key benefits of this include increased discoverability of Nigerian scholarship for both local and global researchers, prevention of plagiarism and duplication of research efforts as scholars can more easily see existing works, improved citation and impact as consolidated repositories are more likely to be indexed by global search engines and aggregators. A national research analytics enabling policy makers to map research trends, gaps, and strengths across disciplines and regions. Our research integrity through EagleScan, a plagiarism detection service tailored to Nigerian tertiary institutions. We see integration with institutional repositories and submission workflows to enable checking of theses, dissertations, journal articles, and coursework against a growing corpus of Nigerian and international documents. It will promote originality and ethical scholarship by giving supervisors, examiners, and journals an objective tool for assessing similarity. It will provide an auditable trail that can be used by quality assurance units, postgraduate schools, and regulators when evaluating programs and projects. Over time, data from EagleScan can inform national conversations about academic integrity, supervision quality, and publication standards. Collaborative research and innovation with NGREN will enable researchers benefit from high bandwidth connectivity for accessing remote institutions, instruments, datasets, and international collaborations. Shared platforms for grants management, ethics review, and project documentation are also part of the implementations we are doing on TERAS platform. So TERAS will provide a digital scaffolding for Nigerians' ambition to move from raw resource extraction to a knowledge-driven, innovation-based economy. TERAS as a pathway for documentation will enable teaching and research to take the spotlight while also enabling documentation to be our backbone for quality assurance, accreditation, and institutional memory. TERAS offers several pathways for strengthening documentation in our tertiary institutions. This we can achieve through academic and administrative records by hosting institutional repositories and potentially integrating student information and learning systems. TERAS supports digital archiving of course curricula, Senate decisions, examination regulations, and program handbooks. Long-term preservation of theses, dissertations, project reports, and teaching materials. Centralized evidence for regulatory reporting and accreditation to agencies such as NUC, NPTE, and NCC. In the future, where an e-accreditation platform or integrated tertiary data system is deployed, TERAS can serve as a key data source, ensuring consistency, verifiable records. For project and intervention documentation, this enables TERAS to act as a documentation hub for physical and digital project documentations, be it designs, contracts, progress reports, and job completion certificates. It provides a platform for monitoring and evaluation dashboards, including usage metrics for all defaulted fund interventions and digital services. It provides an audit trail for finance, procurement, deployment, and capacity building activities. It is vital for transparency, public trust, and continuous improvement of intervention models. It is a national knowledge base for policy. As an aggregated and normalized data from TERAS, including user patterns, research outputs, disciplinary distributions, and digital skills uptake, will inform national policy on curriculum reform, digital literacy, research priorities, and funding allocations. It will also inform evidence-based decisions at institutional level, for example, where to expand programs which digital tools yield the best outcomes. It will also inform international reporting obligations and benchmarking exercises. In this sense, TERAS is not only a platform for institutions, but also a strategic intelligence system for Nigeria's tertiary education ecosystem. In conclusion, TERAS represents a bold step in positioning Nigeria's tertiary education system for a digital knowledge-driven future by combining national-scale infrastructure, federated repositories, e-learning platforms, plagiarism detection, and converged services. TERAS provides an innovative pathway for teaching through blended learning, rich digital resources, and data-informed pedagogy. For learning beyond academics, students are exposed to self-paced digital resources that offer soft skills, globally recognized certification courses which improve employability and encourage entrepreneurship. For research, via improved visibility, integrity tools, and collaboration-friendly infrastructure. For documentation, ensuring robust institutional memory, accountability, and evidence for quality assurance. Based on the above premise, we, which is government, and us, the institutions, are key stakeholders of the TERAS platform and are responsible for its governance, its adoption, its usage, and ultimately, its sustainability. TERAS has the potential to become far more than a mere technological project. It can serve as the digital backbone of Nigeria's tertiary education system, enabling the nation's tertiary education institutions to produce the problem solvers, innovators, and critical citizens required for our national transformation. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Before we go further, we have the communique drafting committee as follows. We have the chairman as the Registrar of University of Ilorin, my friend Alfala. Registrar University of Ilorin, are you here? You are the chairman of the communique drafting committee. You have the following as members of your committee: the Registrar University of Lagos, Registrar Hillside University, Enugu State, Registrar Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University, former Anambra State University, the Registrar University of Health Sciences Azare, and the Registrar Dangote University in Kano. So when you meet, you choose amongst yourself a secretary, chairman, University of Ilorin. So your work starts now. Thank you. Okay, there's a slight adjustment in the lineup of activities on page 12. You will see that we're supposed to take a vote of thanks, but there is a change to the effect that we will take paper 2 immediately so that we will be done with paper presentations, and when we come back from our break, we will go into the syndicate groups. On that note, can you join me as we welcome the resource person, Professor Suleiman A.S. Arua. Professor Arua is of the Faculty of Administration, Nasarawa State University, Kefi. Indeed, the whole of Nasarawa State University, Kefi is here today. Paper titled University Autonomy in the Face of Economic Downturn, the Survivalist Approach and Advancement Strategies. I bet you it's going to be an interesting paper. Prof, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. The chair of ANU, and let me also recognize my Vice Chancellor, the Vice Chancellor of Nasarawa State University, Kefi, the Vice Chancellor of Nile University, and very distinguished guests are here, the rep of ES State Fund, and the Registrar of Nigerian University. Very distinguished registrars of our esteemed universities, I'm very happy to be here to talk to a very fundamental issue that has been burning within the university system, whether to have autonomy or not.
What is wrong leveraging on a well-equipped lab of another sister university for my students to use? Why must I have the same lab? What is wrong taking the competencies of others, even their staff, to do visiting with me on a formal arrangement to fill the spaces, the deficiencies that we have? So, including local and international partnerships are very, very important today for us to be able to drive autonomy and, of course, the survival of the university system. Now, what are advancement strategies? We have looked at survivalist approaches. What are now the strategies for advancement? Very key. If any university exists today, it doesn't have an advancement office, then you have not started. You need it. You need exchange and an advancement office. This is the link. I don't think there's any international partner that will not first ask, do you have an advancement unit to talk to know about the university, to know your needs and how to respond to it. Now, what are the strategies? One is policy reforms for functional autonomy. If we are to embrace autonomy, look at the university law, look at the statutes passed by council, look at the rules, regulations guiding your programs from the PG to undergraduate, and the policy issues you have. We'll need to review them to respond to the desire to be autonomous. You see, to talk about exercising freedom and independence in terms of your academic, it requires that you have some competencies to respond to them. Okay, NUC will just be for compliance. Report compliance, that yes, this is what I've done, and you are reporting regulatory compliance. But that you have the competence to develop your curriculum alone. That you have the competence at all time to also say, I have been able to bring about innovations, some research on your own, and of course, move them to the level of commercialization. Now, these are issues of policy. Where there is absence of policy, you can't advance. And number two is that if you want to rely on the existing laws we have in the Nigerian university system, the policies you have and others, they don't support advancement. And so we need to look at them. Please come here. I have your...
keep coming.
I need to.
Number two is institutional branding and reputation management. It's very, very important that today, one selling point is to brand the university for visibility. The singular thing University of Ilorin did, giving us this compendium, is part of branding. It's about the image of the university. It's about how the university communicates. If you have social media platform, people are looking at you. The communication there resonates who you are. Then the behavior is also seen. So all these things are branding. If you are registrars of university and you come here with a rickety card today, it represents the quality of the university you come from. That is branding. That's very true. Vis-a-vis the vice chancellors and other principals of officers of the university. So branding is key. People want to see who you are from the image, what you symbolize, from what you communicate on your platforms. The circular you issue as a registrar, today it's viral on social media. The content is being examined by people. And it also tells the quality of the governance that you have administratively within the system. So these are things that we must take very seriously. It affects the reputation of the university. If you take a decision today that academic misconduct is not punished and it is known by the public, it affects your reputation. People might not tell you, but it will begin to affect your new intakes. It begin to affect who you are. So again, we have a good example in National State University, Kefi. When we recorded an epic in terms of graduation rates or postgraduates, many people started finding their way to our university. My apology to Registrar University of Abuja. I'm very sorry. Where my VC said we are a cosmopolitan university, she meant it. People would prefer to leave Abuja and the area to come to Kefi, to school. It's not because Kefi has done something manifest, or people say because of proximity. No, if it's proximity, I'm sure University of Abuja is proximal. These are things that people look at. Oh, if you go here 2 years, you do your program, you move. If you go here, you do your PhD 3 years, you move. That is the kind of thing that affects your reputation and that we should also take note of. Let me also pick something that affects you. Somebody applies for a transcript and it takes 3 months to get it. It affects your reputation. Even from the foreign university that is requesting for it, it's already telling them, oh, this is a university that don't respond to requests. Or it takes them 1 year to respond to requests. So all these things matter when you begin to declare yourself independence. Then we also talk about the knowledge economy alignment. It's very key. Today, 3 things drive the university system in terms of innovation. It's sustainability, entrepreneurship, and technology. If they are not aligned to your courses, if they are not aligned to what you do, there's no way you can respond. Today, if you decide to go green, there are a lot of international funds that will ordinarily come to you. There are a lot of sources of funds that will just knock on your door. We are interested in you just because you say you are a pro-green campus. So those are the kind of things that matter today. Then we talk about the triple helix partnerships. You must deliberately, as a policy, connect the university to industry and government. Even when we're talking about independence from government ownership or independence from the proprietor, we need to connect to them, create a relationship, a beneficial relationship with the industry, with government. I think we have a very good model that I know in Malaysia, where no MDA can spend any money in their budget on research unless through a university. No private entity can spend any money on research unless through a university. And that linkage makes the university to solve the problem of the government and problem of the industry. And that deliberate step is also very needed by the university system to drive university autonomy and sustainability. Then, data-driven leadership. I've talked about this earlier. Data, and data integrity, very important. We can't take decisions without data. If today I ask you in your university, who is the best PhD graduate 2024, 2025, and you can't tell me in the next few seconds, then you are not there. You are not there. How many students do you have? You say, wait for me, let me go and ask. You are not there. How much have you got from TED Fund? How much have you spent? You take days to bring the information, then you are not there. You need a dashboard like a television in your office as registrar, that on VC, that you turn and press the button and the things come. And you immediately give the information. Nobody waits for you the number of days you want before they respond to you on these matters. So we need to adopt a data-driven leadership. Then ethical and transparent governance. I've said this. The university laws are very clear. The responsibilities of all the organs of the university and the nature of reports they should make available to university committee and their funders. These are statutory obligations. If we don't do this, people will have no need to fund you. Even external funders will not knock on your door. They will only go to websites of people who have reported and say, oh, they are lacking in this thing. Let's pick this matter and intervene. So we need to pursue ethical and transparent governance. What are the policy implications? Yes, to be able to adopt autonomy today is not feasible. It's not feasible with the laws that we have. So we need legislative support. We also need Senate to make those rules, regulations about academic issues to respond to autonomy. We need council to also make regulations, statutes that will make us respond to the need of autonomy. Now, these are things that we require to support self-governance. Then we also need performance contracts. We need to link institutional autonomy with measurable outcomes in teaching, research, and services. We need to say, okay, in 2026, how many students are we going to graduate? How many research must a staff do? And what level of publication, what level of Q1, Q2, Q3 journals they must publish? Metrics must be there from the VC down to the least person, so that we can at the end of the day measure. For instance, there's nothing wrong. As in PG school, I had a board in front of at the entrance of the PG school. Every defense we do in PhD, MSc is reported for every faculty, every department. You can see it. It does a lot. At that point, you see faculties competing, departments competing. No, people no longer sit on people's projects. So you need dashboard to support KPIs. See, your department cannot graduate less than 5 PhDs in a session. And you watch them to work towards it. But today we are working without any KPI. So whether I bring 4 or 5, nobody knows whether we're performing or not. So we need this contract to be established across. Then capacity building. We need a lot of capacity building. Beyond academic and professional training that we do, we need serious training. We're talking about terrace. We need training, and retraining. We need to learn and unlearn on new things, on new innovations, so that we can support this autonomy and, of course, sustainability of the university. Research financing is also very, very important. You need to establish internal seed grants to encourage staff innovation and publication. Some universities, and my university have, seed research grants. I can report to you that my vice chancellor will tell you, if you can get your article published in a Q1 journal, the university is ready to pay, give you 500,000 naira to pay the subscription. That's the kind of thing you require. So we need to establish these internal seats. And some international bodies will not even give you anything unless they see the effort you have done in terms of internal funding of research. So these are things that will support autonomy. Then, of course, digital infrastructure investment. We need to build robust ICT platforms for governance, learning, and finance management. It's not about using Zoom, using Microsoft Teams and all. That's not what we're talking about. ICT infrastructure is beyond those e-teaching tools. It's beyond it. And we have very good examples in some few private universities in Nigeria that their ERP, everything you do is on that platform. Everything, communication, campus system is on that platform. I think that's the place, the way Terence is taking us to. So I also want to encourage you to adopt it so that we can have all in one system. And they can talk to the same with the data repositories in terms of supporting the decisions we make in the university environment. Now, in all I have said, there are theoretical support. Now, if you look at the institutional theory, it agrees that, of course, the university works with norms, with values, with rules and regulations, and of course, the university can exist autonomously in terms of with little external regulation as we have here. That we can have autonomy even when we have regulatory bodies like JAM, like TEDFON, like AUC, that we can exist. But the issue is not about controlling us, it's about setting standards, benchmarks that people should work towards to, and reporting compliance. Don't tell me I should only take 5,000 people. You have no duty to tell me how many people I should take. Self-governance, I should assess myself and say this is the capacity I can take. This is where I want to take. Don't tell me I should not inform you before starting program. I have the liberty to start program if I have the capacity, the infrastructure, the teaching and all that things, isn't it? But you can say regulatorily, we want all of you to report on this matter every year. That's the kind of thing that we want. So institutional theory is supporting that. Autonomy is not just about you alone, but there can be external regulation that you report compliance. Then if you also look at resource dependency theory, it also focuses on university having total control of their resources. And of course, it doesn't also obliterate key dependence on government funding. But government funding should not limit the extent to which you can raise your funds. And today, to be fair to government has not stopped any university from diversifying its funding sources, excepting funding, what do you call it, federal universities and state universities. Government will want to know before you charge any fee and approve. That cannot support autonomy. There's nothing that makes it the university to charge the same fee for all programs. It should be according to the cost of running those programs. And then you charge, and that's how you can expand the portfolio of funding that you have. So again, by resource dependency theory, it aligns with the survivalist approach, where autonomy is exercised to strengthen internal financial mechanisms. Then of course, the adaptive system theory allows universities to function as learning organizations whose survival depends on their capacity to adjust structures, policies, and strategies. Like I said, for us in the context of autonomy, the structures we have, the policies that we have must be adjusted. The current tradition, the current rules, norms we have don't support autonomy. If you take the wastefulness and inefficiency we have to autonomy, that university will close down. So we need to adjust, and that's what adaptive system theory is talking about. Now, empirically, we can also find evidence that says universities with greater autonomy demonstrate stronger research productivity and better governance outcomes. So autonomy is associated with stronger research productivity and also better governance outcomes. So again, you say, why are we where we are, where we have low research output, low visibility? Maybe because we don't have autonomy. Whether you work or not, money comes from government to pay salaries, and so everybody relaxes. Nobody does anything to improve the system that we have. Then we have also seen that in Nigerian universities, those with diversified funding portfolios have higher resilience to government budget cuts. That even if government cut their budget by 50% today, there are universities that can survive. How many are there in Nigeria? So again, if you think of this, you need to look deeply that we need to expand beyond traditional funding to innovative sources of funds. Then, of course, we also have evidence, empirical evidence, that says that in the digital era, universities that integrate technology-driven governance frameworks like digital registries, e-senate systems, and automated HR platforms maintain efficiency and academic credibility even during downturns. So technology, again, is central to us. Now, all these empirical and theoretical findings reinforce that university autonomy is both a governance principle and a survival strategy, enabling institutions to innovate, sustain operations, and pursue excellence despite systemic challenges. What are the strategic pathways? And I'll be quick about this because I've spoken about some of them already. One is governance, innovation, and institutional reform. Two is financial diversification and sustainability models. Three, digital transformation and data-driven governance. Four, strategic human capital development. Five, research, innovation, and knowledge commercialization. Six, strategic partnerships and external engagement. Seven, continuous learning and strategic foresight. What are the key actions that we need to take in terms of governance, innovation, and institutional reform? We need to reform the governance structures. I've mentioned them. The way your council is, your senate is, the management structure, the faculty boards, we need to structure them to respond to the adaptive, to needs of driving an autonomy system. Then institutionalizing performance-based management. We need to decentralize decision processes. Not everything should come to your table, even as registrar. There are things that should be done by the lower level people. And that hastens the speed and also response to emergencies and other things. Then adopting integrated governance charter that harmonizes statutory policies and operational procedures. Then establishing governance dashboards, I've mentioned that gives you KPIs, performance metrics that you can see every day and you can guide the decisions we make. Now, in terms of financial diversification, we need to look at endowment and trust funds. We need to look at commercialization of intellectual property. There are very few in many universities. We need to look at strategic partnerships with industry. We need alumni engagement programs. We need a public-private partnership model. We also need tuition rationalization and value-based pricing. That was what I was talking about. Tuition cannot be the same for everybody. A course, a program has a cost. So we say, what is the cost per unit of training a graduate? The average cost will determine what we should charge. Maybe the charge is even less than what you are charging, or it should be more than what you are charging. And that is the model that supports autonomy. Then I talked about digital transformation and data-driven governance. We need automation of administrative functions, including admissions, records, payroll, and correspondences. We need deployment of integrated management information systems. We need adoption of digital senate and council platforms. We need to use analytics and dashboards. We need to develop online and hybrid learning models. In terms of strategic human capital, we need competency-based recruitment and promotion. We need continuous professional development. We need succession planning. We need motivation and welfare systems. And of course, we need to enhance our institutional culture and renewal programs. In terms of research, innovation, and knowledge commercialization, we need to establish research and innovation directorates. We need to strengthen grants administration systems. We need to create university industrial innovation clusters. We need to support intellectual property management frameworks, and we need to encourage interdisciplinary research. In terms of strategic partnerships and external engagements, of course, we need inter-university collaborations. I've spoken about this locally. We need, of course, with other foreign universities. We need government linkages for policy advocacy, project funding and capacity building. We need industrial engagement for internship programs, research funding, curriculum co-design. We did something recently in my field, accounting and finance, that the curriculum that we came up with based on the IFAC IES, we had to talk to the people in the private sector and the public sector, what they wanted. And that interaction came up with, oh, today we need to do sustainability reporting. And we identified 4 courses that must change in the curriculum for accounting graduates. And today we have them. So if you don't develop curriculum like this and you just sit on your desk and say, this is what students must learn, they will learn it, but it will not make them useful when they graduate from the university. Again, we need to also pursue international partnerships. Then we also spoke about accountability ethics and transparency frameworks. We need regular audits of financial and academic processes. I'm a member of the board of the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria. On a last note, no university submitted their report as required by FRC Act 2023 to FRC. No university in Nigeria. And when it's not in that FRC repository, every international body that goes there says universities are not reporting, or they are not even auditing their financials. And you have a duty that the bursar, after council must have approved, must send a copy into the repository. So it's also very key that it's not about doing, but making sure you submit to relevant bodies. Government and other regulatory bodies are expected to have these reports. Then public disclosure of institutional performance indicators. This is very, very important. That was the kind of thing Unilore did with their compendium. Let the public know key indicators about the university, tabulated and without so much textual presentation. Then codes of conduct and ethical charter. They are very important. It's not about existing. Let people be able to see it, that you have them, and that you also implementing them. Then we need to have integrity management systems that discourage corruption and promote procedural compliance. Then, of course, we need institutional ombudsman services for conflict resolution and fairness. Lastly, we need continuous learning and strategic foresights. What that means is that universities that survive downturns are those that learn continuously and anticipate change. Again, building institutional foresight involves scenario planning, strategic scanning, and future-oriented leadership. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my concluding reflections are: 1, that university autonomy remains a critical determinant of institutional resilience, academic excellence, and national development. Autonomy is both a privilege and a responsibility, requiring accountability, transparency, and ethical leadership. Academic downturns challenge universities to be adaptive, resilient, and forward-looking, leveraging internal capacities and external partnerships. Registrars play a pivotal role in operationalizing autonomy, ensuring effective governance, resource efficiency, and strategic alignment. Sustainable advancement requires holistic strategies, integrating governance, finance, technology, human capital, research, and external engagement. So thank you for listening to me.
The Vice Chancellor of Nigerian University, this is from the leadership and membership of ANU, and it's presented to you to honor you, to thank you and appreciate you for doing this great job, and through you to the Vice Chancellor. Thank you so much. This is indeed a special honor to present to our mother and our big sister, Professor Saadatu Hassan Liman. Or do I say Hassan S.A.N.? Madam Vice Chancellor, this is a special appreciation to you for the good jobs that you've been doing, and for also identifying with the leadership and membership of ANU, and we wish you all the best as you continue to do this honorous task. Thank you. Okay, you are representing the VC. Okay. Incidentally, I'm also an alumnus of Galil.
Seriously?
Yes. And I was with your VC in Israel 2 years ago. He was also in my class. So and I've told him that I'm coming to unionize your staff because they need to belong to be unionized at the appropriate time. So on behalf of the leadership of ANU, to present to you this, through you to him, for your uncommon partnership. Congratulations. Thank you.
On behalf of ANU, I make this special presentation to the Executive Secretary, Ted Fund, a very dear friend. Yesterday I referred to him as the engineer of modern Nigerian university system. And we want to express our deep appreciation for the support he continuously has demonstrated to ANU activities. Extend our felicitations to him. Thank you and congratulations. On behalf of ANU, we make this special presentation to the Registrars of JAM, our veritable partner. He has been metamorphosed into the JAM University as a registrar. Maybe he's the second in command or the first in command, we didn't know. But express our appreciation to him for the good work and the support he has been giving to ANU. Thank you, may God bless. Thank you. On behalf of the Association of Registrars of Nigerian Universities, we make this special presentation to you in recognition of a very powerful and enlightening paper you have just presented as a resource person. Congratulations, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
To express our profound appreciation to all our distinguished guests and resource persons whose presence and contributions have made this gathering both meaningful and impactful. We sincerely thank the SANU National President, Comrade Mohammed Haruna Ibrahim, for hosting us warmly, ensuring that all logical arrangements were seamless. Our appreciation also goes to Professor A. Prema Kirubakaran, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Nile University, for representing the Vice Chancellor and for her contributions throughout this session. We thank you for coming. We thank Professor Sadatu Hassan Dema, Vice Chancellor of Nasarawa State University, for her presence and engagement with members of ANU. Thank you for supporting our chairman. We also acknowledge the contribution of Ghani Rahim, representing Registrar of JAM, whose participation added immense value for what we are doing here today. We thank you very much. And we sincerely express our appreciation to Architect Sonny S.T. Echono, Executive Secretary, Third Form, ably represented by Engineer Joseph Odo, Director of ICT, for the insightful presentation on TERAS, the Third Form Repository Research and Academic System. This exposition on TERAS is a way of showing us that the Executive Secretary is supporting the research ecosystem in Nigeria. We appreciate your contribution, sir. We are also particularly grateful to Professor Suleiman A.S. Arowa for his thought-provoking paper on university autonomy in the face of economic downturn, the survivalist approach and advancement strategies. We thank you for your presentation, sir. And finally, we deeply appreciate all our distinguished guests, resource persons and participants for their time, expertise and commitment to advancing excellence in university administration. May your efforts continue to yield fruit, lasting impact, and may the collaborations fostered at this retreat strengthen the Nigerian university system. God bless you. Thank you all.
We are coming to the end of the program. We will, that is this session. We will step down, I will appeal to members of the high table to just step down the stage and we